Welcome to English classes. Today in this video, we will be learning about the format of formal letters. So let's get started.
Everyone, today in this video, we will be discussing in detail about the format of formal letter writing. In one of my previous videos, I have already taught you about the format of informal letter writing. So, we know that letters are mainly of two types, and what are those? Formal letters and informal letters. Okay? So in this video today, I will be teaching about formal letters. Okay? We all know that letters are effective means of communication. So, informal letters are also called as personal letters. So, these are the types of letters that we write to our friends, family, or acquaintances. Okay. Similarly, formal letters can be also of different types. These can be business letters or official letters or a letter to the editor, a letter to the principal, or a letter for job application. So, we came to know that informal letters are the letters which are written to friends, family, or acquaintances, and formal letters are the type of letters which are written to for business purpose, official purpose, a letter to the editor, a letter to the principal, and a letter for job application. Now, business letters can be further of different types. It can be letters of inquiry or information. So, business letter can be a letter of inquiry or information, or it can be for placing or cancelling an order, and it can also be for acknowledgement. What do you mean by acknowledgement? It means to thanks for any of your work to be done or for any favor. When you give thanks, that type of letter comes under acknowledgement. Similarly, official letters can also be of different types. So, one of the type is a letter of inquiry in any office, or a letter of complaint, or a letter for request or appeals. So what we studied is that official letters can be a letter of inquiry or a letter of complaint or a letter of request or appeals. Now we write the letter to the editors also. So a letter to an editor, it can be a letter informing or suggestions on an issue of public interest. So, usually we write a letter to the editor for any suggestion or for requesting to throw light upon any issue related to the public interest. For example, about bad condition of roads, about the bad medical facilities available in your town. So these are different types of the letter which you write to the editor. Next type of letter is a letter for job application, and it again falls under which category? Under formal letters. So when you write a letter for job application, it should be a letter to apply for particular job and a bio data or resume should be always attached to it. So when you grow up and when you apply for any kind of job, so you will be writing this type of letter, and never forget to attach a bio data or a resume to it. The next and the most commonly used type of formal letter by you all is a letter to the principal or teachers. So these letters are written usually for permission or request or complaint. So usually you write a letter to the principal or any teacher for permission, request or complaint. So in exam, when a letter writing comes, the marks allotted for is 10 marks. So these were the different types of letter which we have learned and where are they used for. Now always remember, when you write a formal letter, that your language should be formal, then straightforward. It should not be very complex language. It should be very formal, straightforward. That is, you should always write what is required in your letter. Straightforward and brief. That is, no need to exaggerate the matter. You should be brief to what is required according to the topic in your letter. And it should be to the point. No need of making unnecessary stories in your letter. It should be related to your topic and to the points. So always remember remember these points when you write a formal letter. Now next, some of the points which you should keep in your mind while writing the formal letters are that use matter of fact style. Means it should be related to the fact. You haven't to make unnecessary stories in your letter. This already I mentioned just now. Okay? Avoid using long sentences. That means your sentences should be short and it should be accurate. Your sentence should not be very long. Sometimes you do it, I find it in many students' copy, that you add up many sentences by giving comma and conjunctions like but, so and this and this. Try to shorten your sentences while writing the letter. The next important point is that word limit. There is no restriction for the word limit, but we should try to keep our letter in particular word limit, that is between 150 to 200 words. You should try to adjust the content between this word limit, that is 150 to 200. No need to make it very lengthy so that you will be given lot of marks. Okay? Marks is given on the basis of your content and how clear you are in expressing your views. Now always remember that before you start writing your letter, you should always read the topic properly. And carefully. That is, whenever you write the letter, you should always read the topic on which you have to write the letter. It should be carefully read, and after that you should think and then arrange your letter in your mind. How are you going to present it in your paper? It should always be, letter must be coherent. So what do you mean by coherent? Means the topic which you have discussed or the subject matter which you have discussed in your letter, it should be related and arranged in a proper sequence. It should not begin and end abruptly anywhere. From anywhere all of a sudden you bring any line or any point to be discussed. That should not be done. Your letter should be coherent. Means everything should be arranged according to what is required. Okay? Suppose if you are writing about the bad condition of road, then first you have to mention the your name, then your address and why you are writing this letter in the first paragraph. Then in the second paragraph you discuss about what problem people are facing in your locality, how the children they face problem, how the elderly people face problem, what are the consequences that are caused by the bad poor condition of the road, and in the last you have to suggest or you have to request how this condition can be improved. Okay, so this is a proper way in which your letter should be arranged. You cannot make the request earlier in your letter and after that you are discussing the problem, or somewhere anyhow you just try to finish your letter. That should never be done. So remember always that your letter must be coherent.
Thank you for watching this video. The next part related to the formal letters will be uploaded in the next video class. So watch that for better understanding about formal letters.